One of my favorite things to do is to put percussion sounds underneath my fingers. And on the Oasys, it's very easy because there's these wonderful percussion maps of all different types of sounds. In this particular case that I'll show you, there's some very cool sounding like tabla type drums, and I kind of went into the percussion and decided which drums I wanted underneath my fingers. So when I play, you can get that kind of an effect. And the cool part about this is that when I add a pitched instrument, like a sitar type sound, let's say, let's just solo those out now. And I mix them all together, you get this extremely tight, very cool effect. So it sounds a little bit like this. This is just a basic piano sound in the Oasys. And one of the great things to do with sound in this instrument is to be able to go into the combination mode, or even in the program mode, and use tone adjust to change it. What this basically means is you can have a set number of programs, and you can make anything with them without having to save lots and lots of different programs. On a lot of instruments, what happens is if you make a change, you actually have to save, and you end up with a ton of variations of things that are very, very similar. And this is something that I do all the time. I'm always slightly changing, like maybe the attack of a string sound, the filter sound of a piano, all these little variations. And this instrument is like a godsend in the sense that you can go in and just do all that kind of little bits of tweaking, or even big changes. Like in this case, I've got a piano sound. What I did first is I ran it through some backwards reverb and some regular reverb and the tiniest bit of wave shaping. But if I go into this tone adjust page, you can see how I quickly can take this piano sound and like make it really, really dark. That's not even a piano. Or brighten it up. And this isn't with the filter. This is with something called pitch stretch. Now here I can use a regular cutoff filter. I can change the attack, make the piano seem like it's a bowed piano, or a quick attack and a quick decay. And this is without having to go back and resave the program as something different. So it's an effect that really, really is very, very handy. The other thing that is something that I do a lot is it's my job in my band to be the kind of like human solo orchestra person. And I need an instrument that really can create huge sounds. And this instrument does that. This is a sound that uses about 8 different layers to create the effect of a big orchestra. This is what it sounds like. So what's happening here is that there are many different layers going on. Everything from just basic brass sounds to some strings, some timpani. This key's not assigned. Neither is that. So what happens actually is that I'll go in and set it so I can play like octaves and things like this. But I don't want to have a double strike of the timpani, so I assign it to one particular octave and not the other. I do a lot of that kind of thing where different sounds will be all mapped across the keyboard in a very detailed, specific fashion. Here's another sound that I do something very similar with. This is this kind of what we call the pig sound in Dream Theater world. It's the snarling pig. And I put strings up in the top with a little bit of piano and very bright, so together it's... So like in that type of an episode, if you will, I've got my different splits and layers, and then what I do is I'll step through the sounds on a pedal. So it's the pedal that is this kind of like magic trick. The biggest question I have is, how do you like play all those different sounds one right after the other? Well, I use this little pedal, and what that's doing is it's taking me through the combination mode on the Oasis. So I can sit here and I can play, you know, like this sound. Step it. So very quickly, this is the trick. So one song that I play might have 10, maybe 15, maybe 25 different program changes. So that's kind of the answer to that question. So it's my job to kind of make this instrument be able to cycle through all the different sounds that I want to play in the course of an evening. Some other things that are very fun and interesting to do are using some of the sounds like the traditional sounds, like this is, it's got that clavinet vibe, but I kind of give it my own life by adding a little bit of marimba to it. Tiny bit of little air on the top and a little bit of this Moog type stack and putting it all together. So during the course of a night, I might play like, 300 different sounds. And I just step on the pedal and I'll get through the entire evening.